Dear team, hi! This is a video guide to one of the main titles in our family of Mystery Manor games. This version is called Mystery Manor Hidden Adventure, also known as Mystery Manor Xgen. It is a remake of an earlier version. It is a project released in 2016 and rated suitable for ages 3 and over. It's currently being localized into English, French, Italian, German and Spanish. As all of our Mystery Manors, it is a mystery-style hidden object game. Inside there are 2 mini-games. One is a match 3 game and the other is a card game of pairs. The story takes place in a mystic mansion inhabited by strange but lovely people, monsters and ghosts. The plotline is that some very mysterious event, referred to in the game as the event, took place in the manor and completely ruined the ordinary lives of its inhabitants. Their deeply loved master, Mr. X, has suddenly disappeared, as has his wife, Madam X. Many of them have lost their memory, and objects in the manor have acquired a tendency to move and change places in their own. The player is a private detective hired by Mr. X before his disappearance to investigate the event. In the beginning of the game, the player is greeted into the manor by Joshua the cat, and is handed a mysterious letter from Mr. X. So by unlocking one room after another, the detective meets the inhabitants of the manor, helps them regain their memories of the day of the event, and discovers clues, eventually finding out that some dark forces are threatening the manor. The setting is more or less contemporary, although we learn eventually that Mr. and Madam X are acquainted with many historical figures from the past, and that they can somehow go beyond the limitations of ordinary time. The gameplay consists mainly of exploring rooms and finding objects and hog scenes in a limited amount of time and in various modes. As a reward for successful exploration, the player gets experience points, coins and collection items. Also, to get items, the player can trade and interact with various characters on the map. Among them, Snatchins, furry green creatures with big ears and tufts at the end of their tails. Snatchins are a trademark of the Mystery Manor games. Collections are comprised of 5 items. When the player has gathered all 5 of them, as well as all 4 of different kinds of special items called charges, they can charge the collection and get its bonus item. Some rooms serve as entry points to mini-games. The match 3 one represents Joshua the cat's fish tank, while the second one is a game where the goal is for the player to find pairs of cards. Now, the player moves along the plotline by completing quests received from various NPCs. While translating this project, please keep in mind, as this is a hidden object game, some requirements specific to the genre are applied here, mainly concerning things like high picture fidelity and recognizability for hog items, collection items and collection titles, uniqueness and consistency, as well as overall consistency of terms. If you're not familiar with hidden object game particularities, we suggest you refer to the video guide to the project Mirrors of Albion for an extensive explanation and useful tips. Some technical requirements common to most of our projects apply here as well, such as use of only straight apostrophes and quotation marks, keeping the same amount and the same order of variables in the translation as in the source. The variables are usually tagged. Being attentive to limits and contacting managers whenever you encounter a limit you can't fit the translation in. Keeping descriptions as generic as possible to allow them to fit entities of any gender and number. Use of hyphens only, no n dashes or m dashes. And of course, last but not least, gender neutrality when referring to the player. We absolutely need to ensure that every player would feel like they are the detective and that the game has been created for them to play and enjoy. And that's pretty much it. We hope this guide has been helpful and that you will enjoy working on one of our most famous projects.